excited. Our season opener against a very good Miami team. AT&T Stadium, Dallas, Texas, the very fertile recruiting area for the LSU Tigers. We have a lot of guys on our team from Texas. They're excited to go there. We have a lot of our top recruits that are going to be at this football game from Dallas, from Houston, from Shreveport, from Louisiana. What a great venue, national TV for the LSU Tigers. I know our fans are going to be excited. Take over that stadium and turn it into Death Valley. It'll be a tremendous night for the LSU Tigers against a very, very good Miami football team.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Tigers Roar with Jordy Hultberg. I'm Tommy Chrysan. It is game week finally.
Like a fine wine, they are just about to open up the top, pop that cork, and away we go. And we'll see.
Let's make a mini timeline here. Joe Burrow signs with LSU. Yep. Then you have media days in July, August camp, which comes with a lot of bad stories, yep. Suspensions, transfers, whatnot. And then all of a sudden, the news of Christian Fulton's eligibility being reinstated.
Shock of good news finally, right?
Naming Joe Burrow the starting quarterback, which should surprise no one. And it's game week, as we've waited all year for Sunday, September 2 to get here. But it is game week. Tigers are full speed ahead with preparations, as are the Miami Hurricanes. College football, all the Louisiana teams get going. 4 of them play on Thursday night this week, but all of them get going, and it'll kind of end with the Sunday night LSU-Miami.
And Ed Orgeron trying to keep a streak alive for himself. He's trying to, with a win over Miami, he would be 4-0 in season openers as a head coach. How about that?
By the way, LSU's 3-0 at AT&T Stadium.
Yes.
3-0. Won 2 games in 1 year. See if you can figure out how that happened. So it'll be 6:30, national TV on ABC. And do not forget, for the 12th year in a row, it'll be the Pelican Sports postgame show immediately followed on both television and radio. Your phone calls, your text messages right after the game. We'll have Brian Lazar of TigerBait.com. Ronnie Rance will be at AT&T Stadium in Arlington. He'll file a report from the LSU locker room. 12 years running. Brian, Ronnie, Buddy Saji, and I, most importantly, your phone calls and texts. And, Jordy, you said it many months ago on this program, and I've heard you say it on the radio. Everything that has happened and will happen between now and Sunday, it's just something to talk about, write about, type about. Sunday night, September 2, and a ref blows a whistle for somebody to kick the ball, that's when it matters.
How can anyone, it's all pure speculation. We haven't seen any of these guys. We don't know what Joe Burrow can do. We don't know what Jonathan Giles can do for LSU. We saw what he did at Texas Tech, but we don't know what their running backs are going to look like. We'll find out very quickly. We'll see just how good this LSU defense is. We'll see how good, and I believe this will be very important. I believe the kicking game will be of tantamount importance to this, and how good is Cole Tracy, how good is the kickoff, how good is Von Rosenberg punting the football, because I think it's going to be a defensive battle, and field position is key.
2 things that I quote you about frequently on the radio. One, what I just said, you've been trying to tell folks all summer they'll pull the curtain back Sunday night. The other, which we can save for later, but the bye should be after Alabama, not before Alabama. That's 2 profound Jordy Hultberg-isms, if you will. And this Tiger team appears to be very healthy.
Yes.
I think at this point, that according to Coach O and his weekly presser, and we're going to hear from Coach O a bunch tonight, but he believes his team is healthy. They got the guys they want that are ready to go, and they'll travel Saturday over to Arlington.
It'll be a home game for LSU. There'll be much more LSU fans in Jerry's world than Miami fans. But all the pressure, I think, is on Miami. They've got national championship aspirations. They think they really can compete for the title, get into the Final Four. Nobody's counting on LSU. Everybody's going, oh, gosh, if they can win 7 games, maybe 8, it would be miraculous. All the pressure's on Miami. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, so again, everybody else gets underway. Southern University and Dawson Modems will be in the Fort Worth Metroplex, Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex also to play TCU. That's a Saturday morning game for Dawson Modems Jaguars, the new uniforms.
Raging Cajuns play at home, open up against Grambling State, so the Billy Napier era begins. Tulane.
with Justin McMillan. We'll play Wake Forest. That's Thursday night in New Orleans, and Southeastern's in Monroe to play Louisiana Monroe. That's Thursday night. Also Thursday night on the SEC Network, Jimbo Fisher's debut as a Texas A&M head coach, hosting Northwestern State Demons from the Southland.
A lot of blowout games except LSU Miami. I like that one. And Teddy Bridgewater's a New Orleans Saint. How about that?
Yeah, we had to throw that in. That came down the pipe Wednesday afternoon. That tells me two things that the Saints believe. A, that they can win the Super Bowl this year. They're all in.
I'm pushing all my chips in.
And B, he's the leading candidate to take over for Drew Brees. Saints fans don't want to think of the day that Drew Brees is not the quarterback, but in 2-3 years, it's going to happen. Teddy Bridgewater's been to a Pro Bowl. Outstanding career at Louisville with the Vikings, and had a horrific knee injury. He is now a member of the Saints. They gave up a third-round pick.
What a steal.
They get him in a sixth-round pick. I don't know if he'll play Thursday night against the Rams in the Dome.
No.
He might be dressed out, might warm up a little bit.
He's only 25 years old.
Yeah, he'll be 26 years old during the season.
Oh, my gosh.
There's your...
Way to go, Mickey Loomis.
By the way, the Saints acquired Drew Brees. He was 27.
Bye, Tom Savage. See you later.
Yeah.
History.
You don't need to renew the apartment rent for September. Okay?
Hit the road.
Let's tell you what we got on the program tonight. And it's going to be special because we have Joe Z. That's Joe Zagacki. He's in his 30th year as the voice of the Miami Hurricanes.
So that means he's been through Jimmy Johnson. He's been through Dennis Erickson, won some national championships. He's been through Butch Davis. He's been through Larry Coker. And he's been through Al Golden and Shannon. Right. So he's seen the really, really good. He's seen the really, really bad.
He's also called a couple of Miami Hurricane wins at the College World Series. He also does basketball and baseball. Joe Z will join us in a little while. Voice of the Hurricanes. He'll talk about the Hurricane program. He'll talk about Coach Mark Richt. And, of course, the matchup with LSU. Also on tonight's program, lots of Ed Orgeron question and answers from the media about this team here on Game Week. And we have the first interview in quite some time conducted by Christian Fulton. A lot of people don't even know what Christian Fulton looks like. We're going to let you hear from Christian himself. Of course, a little over a week ago about a week ago, the news that his eligibility was reinstated, and in my opinion, rightfully so. We'll hear from him tonight as well. Because
look, we lay into the NCAA often for some of the things that they do. So conversely, when they do something right, I never expected them to change their ruling and their appeal. But they did. They did the right thing. So way to go, Mark Emmert and company. We'll
take a break, come back. Going to let you hear from Coach O after this pause on Tigers Roar. Spread the roar. Stay with us.
Hubby, can't wait for tonight. Where are we meeting?
Tonight? Date night? Oh. Find sushi restaurant.
Let's try wasabi sushi.
Route to sushi.
The destination is on your left.
Play our song.
Pioneer in-dash systems with Apple CarPlay. Get yours installed today at your local Mesa retailer.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hi, I'm Jordy Helper for Tremonti's Meat and Seafood Market at 12451 Old Jefferson Highway. Chairman's Reserve steaks, their pork, their chicken, their seafood, top of the line. Primo barbecue pits, Icy Tech coolers. They can go anywhere and cater anything for you. go to 751-7665 to call Tremonti's Meat and Seafood Market, where good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Tremonti's Meat and Seafood Market.
Are you ready for this year's formal events? Weddings, homecoming, Mardi Gras, prom, pageants. Debbie's Bridal is having an inventory blowout sale. Don't be left out. Prices range from 20% off to 80% off. Happening now. Debbie's Bridal, Burnside in Gonzales.
Cypress Lake Apartments are conveniently located off Segan Lane in Baton Rouge, a CLK multifamily management property. Come see this community, which has many amenities including swimming pools, fitness room, playground, and much more. 1, 2, and 3 bedroom apartments. Stop by Cypress Lake Apartments, call 225-293-6789, or go online, live at cypresslakeapts.com.
We continue with Tigers Road game week. As we mentioned, the Miami Hurricanes game 1. Don't forget the home opener in Southeastern on Saturday, September 8th, 6 o'clock kick.
How much are they making in that game, I wonder?
I don't know. I haven't
Because they don't
seen
have
that.
any transportation cost. I would imagine they're going to drive in the day of the game and drive home, save money.
Southern is getting $500,000 to play TCU this Saturday.
That's a lot of
So
money.
I would think Southeastern's got to be getting 400, maybe 500 from
Really?
LSU.
Okay.
They haven't played
Just
since
curious,
a long
just curious.
time ago.
That's a whole nother worry down the road.
Yeah, that we'll worry about that next week. All right, game week. Coach O had his first weekly press luncheon out on the campus of LSU, and here's a portion of the question and answers from the media and Coach O. Game week for the LSU Tigers.
Steve Ensminger, just take me back to when he told you he did not want to do this in 2016 to now he wants to do it, and what kind of offense do you think he has been able to build leading into a game where you're going to be playing a very good defense?
Well, exactly the offense that I've envisioned for LSU, a spread offense, creating space, putting the ball in our playmakers' hands and let them play. He's done exactly what he and I talked about. Our players respect Steve. Our quarterbacks love him. Tight ends love him. He's a tough coach. He's an LSU Tiger. I think he's going to do a tremendous job for us.
Coach, over here. Wondering if you could reflect briefly, this question on Miami, defensive tackle Gerald Willis. I believe you had a history trying to recruit him and so forth. What you remember about that and how far he's come with his personal issues and transferring?
Yeah, well, I was not here. So I was in California when he was being recruited. So I know he's a good player. I know he's going to be fired up coming back to Louisiana. I understand that.
Ed, to your right. Good afternoon. Two questions. Is Steve going to be in the press box or the field? Have you made that decision? And two, the new headset rule, how might that affect just your game day preparations, if at all?
Yeah, well, Steve's going to be in the press box. And he's going to be calling the plays along with Jerry. Jerry will be in the press box. We're going to distribute the headsets among the full-time coaches. And there will be several student assistants on the sideline with headsets. And obviously, the analysts cannot be in the box. They'll be on the sideline. They can't do any charting. Only graduate assistants can be up in the box.
Ed, you mentioned the quarterback decision. What went into making the decision? Was it strictly the grades? And when did you actually make it?
We made it this morning. After the final grades were in, we measured the reps. One quarterback had 428 reps, and the other one had 427. I thought Steve did a great job of giving them equal reps. Graded the things that we wanted to see our quarterback do on a daily basis, and every situation was given a grade. It's marked down on a sheet of paper, percentages. Our players saw it, they knew it, and they received the grades every day, so it was obvious to them. And I thought Steve did a tremendous job of doing this the whole camp.
You referenced that Miami pass rush in your opening statement. How much have you had to prepare for that in the offense, and how much does that go into the decision-making about the quarterback and what kind of offense you want to run this weekend?
Well, let me say this to you. We're going to face a great pass rush every week, and we need to get used to it. But, you know, we have a pretty good pass rush ourselves, so our guys have seen a good pass rush. We announced the quarterback, and we graded the quarterback on the things that we feel that he can do within our offense. And it had nothing to do with Miami or nothing to do because we're going to play great defensive lines coming up.
Ed, you mentioned the guys competing for that left cornerback spot. Are any of them also working at nickel, and just kind of how do you see those two positions in terms of?
Yes, I see Kerry Vincent and Terrence Alexander are going to work at a nickel spot. They're going to fight for that spot this week, and we'll see who the starter is.
Coach, over here, you mentioned the decision was made this morning, and last week you said it could have been on Sunday. So how close of a decision was it, and how did the conversation roll from yesterday into this morning?
It was a very close decision. In fact, it seesawed back and forth all last week. The grades were very close. Either quarterback could have won out. Steve and I talked a little bit about it last night. I said, let's sleep on it. Let's make sure that this is what we want to do. But we went with the grades. And the winner came out on a sheet of paper of the grades, and that was the deciding factor.
Coach, over here to your right. 2 questions, please. Do you think you're better than people think you are?
Yes.
Okay. And why? And number 2, is the opening game a big coach's game as far as making adjustments to what they do? Is there more pressure on coaches and openers, especially in openers against a top 10 ranked team?
You know, the preparation going into camp, as far as your team being able to be in great shape, your team be able to tackle, have great line of scrimmage discipline, catch the football, fundamentals that ought to be shown in the first game. I think that's a measure of what we have done in camp. We have to have an open mind on offense and defense to be able to make adjustments. Obviously, it's the first game. They have new players. We have new players. And I think that the adjustments are done on the sideline. I think that's a big strength for us with Dave Aranda and Steve Ensminger. I feel totally confident that they'll be able to make those adjustments. So, yes, it is a coaching game, but I think it's a reflection of what you've done in camp.
How about being better?
Well, you know, the outside influences don't affect our room. So whatever, if they pick us first or pick us last, we still got to play. So we tell our guys, block out the noise. But obviously you hear it, and you hear the predictions, and you hear that. I do believe we have a very good football team. We're going to take it one game at a time, and let's see what happens.
Ed, I guess what are you seeing in between Badara and Adrian in that right tackle competition? I guess what kind of things do they each bring to the table?
Yeah, Badara is a big physical tackle, very tough. Adrian has a little bit more experience in our system. He's a little bit more fluid in his movements. I would say Badara is a little bit more consistent right now. Adrian needs to be more consistent, and we're going to put him through the test this week. This is going to be a game-type decision.
Coach, what have you seen from Joe Burrow since he came to the campus in terms of getting comfortable, getting to know his teammates, running the offense, all those things?
Yeah, he came in here very low-key, competed at every event he could. I remember the first day we ran our conditioning test, and he was first on a bunch of sprints, didn't say a word. In the film room, on his own, studying, in the weight room, working hard. When he had a chance to, he took command of the offense, showed leadership. He made some mistakes. He wasn't perfect. Neither was the other quarterback. But the next day he would bounce back. He showed true leadership and ability to command the offense.
Ed, any update on Thaddeus Moss or Rashard Lawrence? They both kind of missed
Yeah,
time.
I think both of them are going to play this week. I'm expecting both of them to play.
You've talked a little bit about this in the past, but just if you would talk again about your influences from your time in Miami. You were under Jimmy Johnson and then Dennis Erickson. Those were kind of that was kind of like the high water mark of Miami's great teams. So what did you learn? What do you take from both those guys?
Well, I felt like that's where I learned how to coach. I started off at Arkansas under Ken Hatfield, and they got me ready for coaching. And I learned a lot of stuff how to study film, the professionalism of being a football coach. Then I went down to Miami, and my first day on the practice field, coaching defense with Jimmy Johnson, Dave Wanstead, Butch Davis, Tommy Tuberville, Dave Campbell. I understood the tempo of practice and how to prepare for practice and what a real practice looked like. And from then on, I wanted to become that type of coach. I thought Jimmy Johnson was an excellent motivator. He was an excellent leader. He was a tough coach, a great recruiter. Learned how to recruit from him, put safeties to linebackers, linebackers to defensive ends, defensive end to defensive tackles, defensive linemen to offensive linemen, recruiting a great, smart quarterback and recruiting speed. So he was kind of like my mentor. Then Dennis Erickson came along and gave me a chance. Obviously, we won 2 national championships. We coached some great guys. I mean, Cortez Kennedy, Russell Maryland, Warren Sapp. What an opportunity to coach some great men. So I learned a lot of football down there.
Coach, here on the left, is Christian a go? He can play this weekend?
Yes.
And given he's practiced and all that but hasn't played, what are realistic expectations for him in terms of rust or anything you might be facing?
Yeah, we're going to put him in some situations. Now, he's practiced on the second team, and he's scrimmaged, so he has a lot of scrimmage time, just like everybody else. We feel that he's ready to play and perhaps start. We're going to make that decision towards the end of the week after we put him full speed 7-on-7 in team and see what he does.
That's what you call a good segue. He mentioned Christian Fulton.
Yes.
Well, we're going to take a break. When we come back, going to let you hear from Christian Fulton. A lot of Tiger fans may not recognize him, haven't heard him a lot while he was on suspension. Obviously, no interaction with the media, but he conducted the first interview in quite a long time. The former Rummel Raider and LSU Tiger, who will be on the field this Sunday night. We'll take a break, come back, hear from Christian Fulton. Still to come, Joe Z, voice of the Hurricanes. He's not that far away. Don't go anywhere. Spread the roar. You're watching Tigers Roar, and it's game week on Pelican Sports TV.
Creel Tree Service is a licensed and insured tree service providing tree and stump removal, topping, trimming, cabling, pruning, and fertilizing. We have free stump removal with takedowns, free estimates, affordable rates, and senior citizens discounts. Call 774-TREE. That's 774-8733. Get your yard ready for the warmer weather. If it deals with a tree, call me, Creel Tree Service, 774-8733. That's 774-TREE.
When my wife and I started Relief Windows, what we were trying to do, what our goal was to give a quality job to a homeowner. Everybody's scared of contractors. We wanted to change the mold of what that is. Not showing up on time, not answering the phone, somebody running with your money. The reason why you should pick Relief Windows to do your renovation of your home, windows, doors, hardy plank, or siding, is because of the experience, quality service of our company. Service is everything we have. It's the foundation of our company. We're going to show up on time. We're going to do the job right. Over 60% of our customers is customer referral. We're a local company here in Baton Rouge, built in Baton Rouge, staying in Baton Rouge. Okay. The job's not done until you're happy and we're happy. It's built the old-fashioned way, with a handshake. Here at Relief Windows, it's an honor to be official window, door, and siding company of LSU Athletics, from one winning team to another.
They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people. You can know the right people too.
The Acord Eye Clinic has moved to a new office, just minutes from the old office at 8280 YMCA Plaza Drive, Building 9. Dr. Shonda Acord and her staff welcome patients of all ages, including children and adults. They have a wide variety of frames and sunglasses, including Maui Jim. The Acord Eye Clinic features modern instruments and state-of-the-art technology, including digital retinal scanning with Optomap, hard-to-fit contact lenses, as well as professional care and service. Open Monday through Friday, 8 till 5. Call for an appointment, 225-767-EYES, and visit the website, visionsource-br.com. The Acord Eye Clinic looks forward to seeing you.
This is an important announcement. If you're between 50 and 85 and worried about your loved ones, you can still get affordable life insurance for peace of mind.
My life insurance coverage is guaranteed, and I was not required to get a medical exam.
I had high blood pressure and diabetes, and I got my coverage with one telephone call. No exam necessary.
I'm a smoker, and I wanted to take care of my family. I called to get my life insurance and my affairs in order. I wanted to do the right thing.
Call Final Expense No Exam Insurance. Your rates are guaranteed and will never increase.
I called and learned that this insurance cannot be canceled even if you get sick or gain weight.
And there are no restrictions on how my beneficiaries use the money when I'm gone.
Approval was easy and the price was right. I wanted to do this for my children.
Call 800-654-9927, 800-654-9927.
Some really good news that came out of the fall camp, the reinstatement and eligibility of Christian Fulton by the NCAA. As you mentioned, not a lot of people thought this would happen after the appeal was denied about a week or so prior to that.
And give a lot of credit to Joe Oliva, the compliance department, Christian's parents, everybody never gave up. Well, they just never did. They kept pushing and pushing, and as Keith Fulton told me, he said, we're going to light up a cigar tonight on this news.
And again, a lot of credit to Joe Oliva and the compliance staff. Well, lo and behold, they send Christian Fulton during the player interviews this week, and we've got it for you. Here's Tiger cornerback Christian Fulton.
Just thankful to be back, a part of my team, you know. It's a blessing, and I'm just ready to get back to work and get ready for Miami.
How important was it for you to stay locked in, stay engaged with this team, and be a part of it, despite everything you're going through?
It was definitely important for me. My parents made it a priority for myself, you know, not only to stay up, stay positive, but to engage, you know, prepare. You always want to prepare like you are playing. So, and the NCAA blessed me with another opportunity that I'm grateful for.
Can you take us? Coaches and the athletic director fight for you.
I can't even explain the feeling. I'm so thankful for them, you know, and it's the reason why I chose LSU, because I knew what type of people I was going to be dealing with when I came to this institution, and I'm really not surprised that they fought for me so hard, which I'm very thankful for.
Can you take us through the range of emotions of this camp, from the low of you think you may not play to getting the good news?
Like you said, it was a lot of range of emotions, but I just came to practice every day with just a mindset to get better each and every day. You know, I didn't want to disappoint my teammates, whether I was playing or I wasn't going to be able to play. And, you know, it was some tough days, but you just got to keep fighting.
Previous video showing the celebration in the locker room. What do you remember about that moment of everybody kind of going crazy?
I love those dudes. They kept me up throughout this whole process. You know, like each and every day was hard. So the moment they found out, I think they were more excited than me. You know, with all of them coming up on me, hugging me, and dapping me off, and you know, they just show a lot of love to me, and I appreciate that.
For people that don't know, what type of skill set do you bring to the field?
I mean, my intention on the field is just to be a lockdown corner. You know, I try my best to make sure that my side of the field is taken care of, and I just do my job, do what I got to do.
That's it?
Wow. How much of an example have the older guys provided for you in the time that you've been here, and how much you kind of rely on them for kind of tips of the trade and being in those big moments?
Well, I mean, with John being the oldest in the room, you know, he's helped me out a lot, you know, just how to prepare for, like, each team, you know, keeping me positive throughout the process, you know, and all the other guys, they've been helping me out too. Greedy, you know, someone I kind of look up to, you know, as a corner. You know, he had a great year last year. So, I mean, just asking him, you know, how he went about it coming up in the game last year.
Christian, what was your last game in Rome? What's the last time you played a game? Who did you play against? Was it semifinals?
State championship, we played against Catholic High. So,
you played in 3 games?
Yeah. My freshman year, I played in 3 games, you know, got a few plays.
You busted your finger or something?
Yeah, I broke my index finger. I think it was like probably going into like the 8th game of the season.
So you didn't play after that?
No, sir.
You said John was kind of a mentor in the room, in the position room, but what about from outside, maybe even outside the program? Somebody kind of give you some encouraging words, or who was really instrumental to keep your attitude up?
My parents, but definitely really everybody that reached out to me. A lot of people reached out to me in this process. You know, you kind of hear the same things over and over again, but all those things come really from everybody that's spoken to me. So I credit everybody really, because it's been real tough.
Was there one that stood out that kind of like, man, that means a lot?
I mean, it all stood out to me. It was just a tough process. So, I mean, I'm thankful for everybody that did reach out.
When Coach told us that you were reinstated, he said that you paid the price. Do you feel that you paid the price and you appreciated your opportunity more now because of it?
Yes, sir. I definitely feel I paid the price, and I mean, like I said, it's really just been a blessing for them to give me this opportunity, and I thank them so much.
Now that you're back in the mix, what does it do to the scheme now? What does it allow Dave Aranda to do defensively now that you guys have options now?
I mean, we were already pretty deep, you know, when I wasn't like eligible. But I mean, I'm kind of eager to see what he has in store now that I am eligible. You know, with it being the first week, full week back. So I'm sure they had some things to talk about over the weekend. So we'll see come to the meetings.
You've seen a guy push you for your position. Kelvin Joseph, coach, said that he's a really talented freshman. What do you see in his play, and have you been able to help him at all? Or is the competition helping you?
Yeah, definitely. Just with me being here for 3 years, you know, I kind of been around some great players, and he has some of those aspects in this game. You know, very physical, and he's intelligent, and he plays the game like he's a vet already. I can see that. So we're pretty deep in the cornerback room.
Thanks, Christian. Thanks.
Christian Fulton will be on the field Sunday night. He might
I think he
start,
starts.
He might not, but he'll be out there. There's no question about that.
I think he starts, and it gives you a chance to really manipulate your secondary. They're deep. They're loaded back in that third tier of the defense.
Well, defense is the A+ on this team right now. We'll see how it transpires going forward. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going down to Miami, Florida. Fort Lauderdale, to be exact. Joe Z, voice of the Miami Hurricanes, he joins us when we return with more of Tigers Roar. Spread the roar. It's game week.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Remember what these trips were like before you put the screens in the back seats?
I don't want to think about it.
Are we there yet? I'm hungry. Where are we?
Go, go, go. That game should keep them occupied.
Oh, yeah! Dad! Oh, in your face!
Don't make me get back there.
You don't need a new car to have new technology. Mike's Audio, conveniently located on Airline Highway near the corner of Bluebonnet.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
For Total Home Pest Control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvat.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
We continue with Tigers Roar with Jordy Hultberg. I'm Tommy Chrisam. It is our pleasure now to welcome to the program Joe Z, who enters his 30th year as the voice of the Miami Hurricanes. He does football, basketball, baseball. He's done College World Series championships in Omaha and the like. Joe Z, good evening. How are you?
I'm good. How are you fellas tonight?
Just one question before we get to football. Will you ever forget that Warren Morris home run in Omaha?
You know, it's funny. People bring that up. Every time I talk about LSU, they bring up the Peach Bowl and the home run. And I say, man, I've got amnesia. Well, I'll tell you what I do remember is 44-3 at Tiger Stadium.
Yeah, I was in the rain.
I remember that one. You've been through the great, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I mean, from Jimmy Johnson and Dennis Erickson, Larry Coker. Where is this program now, in your viewpoint, with Mark Richt at the helm?
It's not all the way back, but it's in the best shape it's been since the middle 2000s, probably since Miami had the linebacking core of Vilma and Williams, and Sean Taylor was playing safety, so probably about the 2004 season. Probably the best shape since then because of the roster. I think when Coach Richt took over, the roster probably had I would bet you 30 guys on the roster that shouldn't be playing at the University of Miami.
Wow.
So he's done a good job of changing it over in a short period of time. He's given them a good identity. He's accomplished an awful lot, both on and off the field, and I think a lot of that is because of his credibility. And I think there are guys like Mark Richt or Steve Spurrier or our basketball coach, Jim Larinaga. You put them anywhere, and they're going to win. They know how to win. I think Coach Richt knows how to win. So he's got Miami back. They look pretty good if you compare them to the old days. Not all the way back, and I think Miami probably suffers from some of the same things that LSU suffers from, and that is holding on to your players. They had good players. Everybody says, oh, yeah, all these guys in the NFL, yeah, great. It'd be wonderful if any of those guys would stay.
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
What are you looking for in this year's team? What's the strength of this year's Hurricane football team?
Well, I think defensively it's going to be the back seven. I think you know the linebackers, those three linebackers, McLeod, Quarterman, and Pickney, have played. This will be their third year playing together. They played from day one as true freshmen. So you would hope that their junior years, which might be their last year at Miami, we hope not, but those three guys have all played 25 games or more together. And then behind them on the corner, Michael Jackson was a ACC, All-ACC player a year ago. Jaquan Johnson at safety is a preseason All-American. He and Redwine have played 77 games together. They would have played 80 games together, but Redwine got knocked out of a couple of games. So I think you got experience, you've got athletic ability between the linebackers, the safeties, and the corners. And then the defensive ends, I really like Joe Jackson and Jonathan Garvin. Those guys come off the edge in a hurry, and there's good depth there. The question for Miami is going to be Willis and Bethel at defensive tackle. And the reason why they're the question marks is because two guys that should be seniors left early for the draft, and they were selected in the 5th round and the 7th round. So had they come back, this would have been a really, really elite defense. As it stands, I think it's going to be a very good defense. If it gets to elite status, that depends on Willis and Bethel.
Josie, the voice of the Miami Hurricanes, kind enough to join us. So it sounds like it's the Hurricanes' strength is the same strength as LSU's, and that is LSU's defense under Dave Aranda. I guess the big question mark is LSU's breaking in a new quarterback. You've got an experienced quarterback who started off great, kind of tailed off at the end, although there's nothing to be ashamed of in losing to a Clemson or to a Wisconsin. That's two pretty good programs. What have you seen in Rozier of late that leads you to believe that he is going to be the guy again this year?
It's funny that you mentioned, you're one of the only shows I've been on that mentioned Wisconsin as a tough battle. And Wisconsin had a hell of a team.
They do.
A heck of a season. And they're kind of the opposite probably of Miami and LSU, and that is they get old. They're always playing with older players. They've got a great style, a great system, and usually they're filled up with seniors. So their level of execution is really high. And that being said, Miami led that game, and then Rozier turned it over a couple of times, once in the red zone. Then Miami battled back. Rozier hit a deep ball to Jeff Thomas. In Miami Stadium in a bowl game, they're down 10, 6 minutes to go, 3 timeouts left. Bring on the field goal team, and your senior field goal kicker misses a 20-yard kick.
Ouch.
So we don't know what the outcome could have been, but if he makes it, now you're down 7 in your stadium with 3 timeouts remaining, and you were 3-0 in games decided by 6 points or less. I would have liked to have seen that game played out that way. What do I expect from him this year? I still think he's going to be streaky. I think his completion percentage will go up because of the weapons around him. He's going to have better wide receivers. Amon Richards alone is going to make him a better quarterback. He's going to have 2 freshman tight ends. Now, I don't know how they're going to play in the first game, but I do believe they're going to have great careers at Miami. And I think because he's got better weapons around him, maybe if he throws the ball high or wide or whatever, these guys are going to bail him out and make a play. So I expect him to have a solid year. I hope he does. Miami's season's hinging on it. Okay. Last year he did account for 31 touchdowns, 26 through the air, 5 on the ground. So up until those final 3 games, even though he was streaky, he found ways to win. Maybe he just likes drama.
Yeah, I'm with you. Through all your career as the voice of the Hurricane, what was that one team where you had the most fun, that was the best games to call, that was the best team you ever had at Miami?
Well, you know, the best team they probably ever had lost the championship to Penn State.
Okay.
But I still maintain that '86 team was pretty good. You know, that was Jerome Brown and Michael Irvin and Benny Blades and Alonzo Highsmith. That team was loaded with first-round picks and lost to Penn State. And you mentioned fun. The reason I probably put them in front of the 01 team is because that era of 86 and 87, 85, 86, 87, they were made up of some crazy dudes.
Yeah.
You just knew they were going to win. They don't really do a lot of going to the stadium and walkthroughs anymore. Miami's going to walk through AT&T Stadium, but for the most part now they don't do it.
Right.
In those days, we left Miami like 10 o'clock in the morning, went to the other stadium for the supposed walkthrough, and it would be Jerome Brown playing quarterback, throwing deep balls to Greg Mark or Bill Hawkins. It was hysterical.
Yeah.
I remember going to one game. I think they were playing Michigan State, and Dick Vermeil, showed up. He was going to be the analyst on the game. I think it was with Musburger, and they were all excited to see the number one team and all that. And I can't wait to see the drills Coach Johnson puts them through. and they came out in warm-ups, not football jerseys, just a warm-up suit, and started messing around. And Vermeil was like, "This is how the number one team in the country gets ready for a game." Yeah,
Loose.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Jump on the goalpost, run around the stands, do some other nefarious things on the field. It was pretty wild.
Joe, what do you remember about Ed Orgeron, the assistant coach on Jimmy Johnson's staff?
Yeah, well, that staff, and I think he was with Tuberville also. I mean, that staff was loaded. How about the names on it? You had Ed Orgeron, you had Tommy Tuberville, Dave Wannstedt was the coordinator, Gary Stevens was the offensive coordinator, Butch Davis was the defensive line coach, and the secondary coach was Dave Campo.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
That's
Tony
pretty good.
Wise was the offensive line coach. But Orgeron fit right in with all those guys, and I think he learned a lot from Jimmy Johnson. And I think he learned a lot about Jimmy's philosophy, and his priority always was build a defensive line. If you got a great defensive line, you're going to win. Build a defensive line. And the other thing that I've saw with LSU, and they do, I think, have a really good defensive line. Jimmy was always of the belief, often you don't win it, the other team is going to lose it. You just take care of your business. The other team's going to make enough mistakes to lose games. And, LSU did protect the ball pretty well last year. But I think he probably learned a lot. I think he was a great recruiter. I think it was pretty funny for me. He was with Miami and then took the job at Ole Miss, was the head coach at Ole Miss. I don't remember he went to USC first and then to Ole Miss, but he was at Ole Miss. I probably had not seen him maybe for 8 years or more, and Miami in baseball played the Super Regional at Ole Miss.
Okay.
And so I went over to, he was doing a camp because it was June. So Ole Miss had this indoor facility. I went over to the indoor facility, and I thought I was going to go see Art Keough and Dan Werner, who we had taken from the Miami staff. And Orgeron saw me, and it was as if he had seen me the 3 days before. He came over and gave me one of those big old bear hugs of his, and he made me feel like I was his next door neighbor.
Hey, Joe Z, tell us a little bit about Mark Richt. LSU fans know him. 8 times they played when he was at Georgia. Give us something about Mark Richt that maybe the LSU fans don't know.
Well, there'll be a couple of things about him. One, I think he comes with great credibility. Two, I think he is probably a more tenacious competitor than most people think. I think there was this perception, he was at Georgia, he's going to go to Miami and put it on cruise control, and it's anything but. I think the first year, kind of a feeling out process of who does he have, what does he have, both with the administration, fan base, everybody. I think he evaluated the announcers for all I know. But you watch him practice, watch him put his team through practice, and it's the same every day. And it's a battle every day. And the fundamentals, the techniques, and learning how to impose your will on the other team is what he has brought to Miami. So, and the credibility of winning. People believe him. And from the players' perspective, they think this. He always has the right answer. Whatever they're going to see, they think he's got the right answer. And I think, to a certain extent, that knock of not winning the big one is a little bit unfair because you look at some of his teams at Georgia. If the same postseason rules applied then as they do today, he probably would have been in the Final Four. What do you think, Dulles? 4 times?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
You know, he had teams that were Final Four quality.
No question.
He just one year he said to me, he said, I got shut out one year, and he had one loss. I think he had one loss, and the reason he got shut out was because Miami and Ohio State played in the Fiesta Bowl.
Yeah, there you
All
go.
right, hey, Joe Z, we certainly appreciate your time. Safe travels in and out of Arlington. I know you'll have a great call, and we thank you for sharing some really good stuff.
Enjoy
here
that.
on
Enjoy that.
Tigers Roar tonight.
Enjoy that sunset on the Atlantic Ocean tonight, my friend. That's
Going to do
it's a
that
tough
very much.
gig.
We had a beautiful night here in South Florida.
There you go.
Thank you,
care.
Joe.
All right, thank you, guys.
Joe Z, he got some stories.
Right there in Fort Lauderdale, just walking the beach.
It's nice down there.
Yeah,
I've been
it's
to
very
West
nice.
Palm Beach a good bit.
Very
but anyway, good stuff from Joe Z.
Yeah.
Very good. Obviously, he's been there 30 years.
He's
Coach
seen,
Joe.
like I said, he's seen the great teams with great players, Hall of Fame players, and then he saw that program go way down with Shannon and Golden, and now Rick is bringing it back up.
Yeah.
They really think they are a national championship contender. That's why this game is so important to them, because after that, their schedule is a walk.
Well, they're ranked number 8, both polls. They're picked to win their division in the ACC. So the expectations are there. And last year, they were rocking and rolling. They kind of tailed it off at the end.
Pittsburgh was the big
dropped their
loss.
last 3 games, including the Pittsburgh, which that's the one you can't
That's
kind
the
of
killer.
go, wait, how'd that happen,
Right.
But anyway, we appreciate Joe Z's time to come on with us tonight. Those kind of guys do lots of interviews this week in Baton Rouge and in Louisiana. We certainly appreciate his time. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll come back, put a wrap on things for you on this week's edition of Tigers Roar. As I mentioned, it's game week. We'll come back with some thoughts about the contest on Sunday night. And, of course, we'll remind you about the post-game show. Right after this pause, you're watching Tigers Roar on Pelican Sports TV. Stay with us.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
If you're depressed, drinking, and using drugs, you may need help. And the Affordable Care Act guarantees coverage of substance abuse. Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Are you losing hope? You can recover and get back on track. Call now for hope and help with proven, gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment with someone who cares.
Call 800-383-8177. 800-383-8177.
The Acord Eye Clinic has moved to a new office, just minutes from the old office at 8280 YMCA Plaza Drive, Building 9. Dr. Shonda Acord and her staff welcome patients of all ages, including children and adults. They have a wide variety of frames and sunglasses, including Maui Jim. The Acord Eye Clinic features modern instruments and state-of-the-art technology, including digital retinal scanning with Optomap, hard-to-fit contact lenses, as well as professional care and service. Open Monday through Friday, 8 till 5. Call for an appointment, 225-767-EYES, and visit the website, visionsource-br.com. The Acord Eye Clinic looks forward to seeing you.
They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people.
You can know the right people too.
Are you ready for this year's formal events? Weddings, homecoming, Mardi Gras, prom, pageants. Debbie's Bridal is having an inventory blowout sale. Don't be left out. Prices range from 20% off to 80% off. Happening now. Debbie's Bridal, Burnside in Gonzales.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Hello, hola, 你好.
Experience what the Baton Rouge International School can offer your children. Now welcoming displaced students for short and long-term stability.
We remind you Sunday night, right after the game, right after LSU Miami, radio, TV, your phone calls, your text messages, the Pelican Sports post-game show, 90 minutes long, starting approximately 10 p.m., reports from the stadium, analysis, stats, and of course, your phone calls and text messages right after the game, Pelican Sports TV and WUBR Radio. Also, we've been telling you about it a little bit this summer. There's a big announcement coming from Pelican Broadcasting really soon.
Maybe next week.
Event, special place. It involves sports, family, fun, music, food, beverage. I mean, it's got to have everything you ever imagined. You talk about tailgate 7 days a week. We got something for you coming very, very, very soon. Be connected with us on Facebook and Twitter, TV and radio. We're going to be blowing it up any day now. Any day now. We've teased you about it. But it's here, it's real, get ready. You are going to absolutely love it. Baton Rouge, surrounding areas, people traveling into town, everybody's going to love it. Jordy, it's game week. Predictions on the radio for you, predictions on the radio for me. So we're not going to let them out on Tigers Roar, but we know it's game week. We'll talk at you Sunday night after the game, buddy Sanji and I. On behalf of everybody at Pelican and Jordy Hultberg, I'm Tommy Christ saying thank you for watching Tigers Roar.
Hello, hola, 你好.
Experience what the Baton Rouge International School can offer your children. Now welcoming displaced students for short and long-term stability.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
If you're depressed, drinking, and using drugs, you may need help. And the Affordable Care Act guarantees coverage of substance abuse. Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Are you losing hope? You can recover and get back on track. Call now for hope and help with proven, gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment with someone who cares.
Call 800-383-8177. 800-383-8177.
When my wife and I started Relief Windows, what we were trying to do, what our goal was to give a quality job to a homeowner. Everybody's scared of contractors. We wanted to change the mold of what that is. Not showing up on time, not answering the phone, somebody running with your money. The reason why you should pick Relief Windows to do your renovation of your home, windows, doors, hardy plank, or siding, is because of the experience, quality service of our company. Service is everything we have. It's the foundation of our company. We're going to show up on time. We're going to do the job right. Over 60% of our customers is customer referral. We're a local company here in Baton Rouge, built in Baton Rouge, staying in Baton Rouge. Okay. The job's not done until you're happy and we're happy. It's built the old-fashioned way, with a handshake. Here at Relief Windows is honored to be official window, door, and siding company of LSU Athletics, from one winning team to another.
Relief Windows.